I want to talk about shelter dogs, and I also want to talk about dogs that people adopt over the internet. And full disclosure, we post pictures on Read Your Dog of dogs that need adoption and lost dogs and all kinds of dogs. So we do that, and it is a way that you can find a dog. But I want to send out this caveat that you realize a lot of people fall in love with the way the dog looks. And the way the dog looks, you can't tell what its behavior is like. I know so many people that have just adopted a dog just strictly on that alone over the internet. I know somebody that adopted a bottle-fed dog like that, and just they didn't really care. They just fell in love with the way that it looked, and that's not such a good idea. And what I'm saying is, I could see it does sort of make sense to see what an animal shelter would have in their inventory or whatever, but don't have your heart set on adopting that dog that you see. It might be nothing. It might be a great shot of a dog that, hey, look, they're all cool and everything, but a dog that has a lot of issues. So if you don't have a lot of time to spend with a dog, that dog might not be good for you. Or the dog might it might look all calm and everything, but you get it home and its energy level is so high, it's not an appropriate match. So what I'm saying is you could look and maybe get one or two, maybe three dogs you want to look at, but keep an open mind when you go. And, there's many times, I'll have a pet that, I never really, like Mango. I never, I wasn't a Chihuahua guy until I got Mango, and now I'm like a Chihuahua guy. You know what I'm saying? So don't have this preconceived idea of what you think your dog should look like or something. Just go check out the dogs and kind of look at their behavior. Don't worry about the way the dog looks. They're all basically just the same. So, and the other thing, when you say you go to a shelter and you adopt a dog, I want everybody to be realistic about this, and it would be the same thing as going to a breeder and buying a dog, okay? If you go buy a dog, you have to train it. And if you go to the shelter and get the older dog or the puppy, you still have to train it. Dogs don't come trained. They just don't. You have to do the hard work. Even if you send your dog off to someone like myself and you do a board and train with me, you still have to learn the correct terminologies and how I train the dog, or the dog won't respond to you. So keep that in mind. There are no trained dogs at the animal shelter. You are not going to find a trained dog. I'm talking in years of this, dealing with animals and working in animal shelters, maybe one or two dogs I came across that it was obvious that they had training, serious training. So remember this. 4 million dogs are dying every year because of lack of training or improper training. So it is so important that when you get your dog, you start training it. You have to break the cycle. And there is a statistic, and I'm not sure what it is, but it's fairly high. I'll look for it. But that the dog that is once put into the system, its chance, just one time, its chance of it dying is just getting put down. You're taking somebody else's problem. They didn't train it. You have to break the cycle and train that dog, whether it's a dog coming from the breeder or a dog that's coming from a shelter. Really, training is the lifetime of the dog. See, Mango, everything's going to be fine. Loch Ness Monster. Come on. No Loch Ness Monster. Yeah. Hang on, man. Go.